Hello fellow gamers, welcome back to my channel. It is Neil the Za1, aka Zabin Triumph, aka Moth the God. Pretty much everybody knows me by Moth, but as you can tell by the name, is Teamster Get Bagged. I put that name for a particular reason. I'm not going to get into it, but besides that, basically you can see the palindrome on my back, and that's not the weapon that I'm trying to bring in to D2, which you're probably wondering, what is this guy doing on Destiny 1? Not only for a nostalgic reason, but just basically to boast a weapon that I think has long been past due bringing into Destiny 2. I mean, they've brought in a lot of other weapons, and this particular weapon, hopefully I'll hurry up and get there. I'm not going to speed it up because it's right here, but basically the weapon that I really wanted to, hope that Bungie would bring back, which, no, not the attention Destiny. Anyways, this particular weapon right here, which is the Grassomatic. Anybody that's ever played Destiny 1 knows that you got this weapon by grinding the Obstacle, which is the Willa Crota strike. As long as you kept doing it, a lot of times, some people did it hundreds and hundreds of times and never got one of these weapons drop. And some people got it drop immediately and got a god roll. But for the people that know, basically, let's go back in. But basically, anybody that knows about this weapon, you were only looking for a few choice perks if you could just get the weapon to drop, period. And usually if you get one or two to drop, a lot more start dropping. It just, RNG played a major role in that. But see, Army of One, quick unassisted kills with this weapon, reduce grenade and made it cool down. For some people, that's your choice playing play style, then it would be perfect. But as you can see, this is by no means a god roll. The rangefinder is good, as you can see the optics. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the strike that we used to get into in order to get this particular weapon. Of course, it's going to be hard because a lot of people are probably not playing. And I just want to take one little look down, memory lane and show people exactly why D1 was considered so special. And hopefully the devs will hear this. Or hopefully somebody can put out another video about this and start bringing some of the D1. Oh, somebody waved. Start bringing some of the D1 weapons to D2, since, and not just exotics, legendaries. Other weapons have been long in need to shake up the, and bring a variety. And basically, without further ado, let's just get into it. One more bow. Salute. Okay, so we're back. Basically, you already know, if you've been part of D1 for a long time or part of the Destiny community for a long time, you'll know that this particular strike was one of those that people not only enjoyed but at the same time raged against, just if simply for the fact that it was so hard at times. It's like even if you thought that you had it in the bag, a lot of times it would be stressful because you were going there for a particular reason, and that was to get the Grassomatic. And a lot of times, even when you were looking for the something husk, sorry about that, it's a little tired, but basically people were looking for a few different weapons, but the weapon that people were really looking for was the Grassomatic. And in order to get that to drop, you would have to constantly cheese. I mean, you can do it the right way, as you see in this video exactly how hard it's gonna be, but you can do it the right way, but it would take you longer, and it was no guaranteed whether you finish the strike without cheesing her. There was no guarantee that you were gonna get the weapon to drop for you in the first place. So people used to like to, with the tether, the swords, and a few other choice supers in order to guarantee that they would slay Obstacle before she even got to this point. But like I said, this is basically, I'm not showcasing the weapon right now, but this is basically why I chose to make a video on this particular weapon, because I see a lot of people, they've made they've made videos on the not the Grassomatic, but they made the Hawk Moon, other choice weapons that Bungie has listened to and brought back on the table. Of course, you see this strike is a lot harder than people give credit, especially when it's only two of you. And I kept getting dropped, and this guy kept trying to pick me up, and then I eventually ended up by myself, which you'll see in this video. But like I said, this is basically, to point out the strong suits and the strong, of the Grassomatic. It was one of those weapons, I could go into the perks and tell you exactly how fast it is, but You know, that should have been done at the beginning. But basically, this weapon was one of those that it was a melter, and especially if you had Head Seeker, there was another perk where if you were if you it's almost like the new perk Rodeo. You know what I mean? It just sped it up. But that's beside the point. I'm not gonna get into absolutely everything about the weapon. I'm just gonna say it was one of those weapons that was meta. Until they nerfed it, it was one of those weapons. If you got it, you knew you were gonna pretty much be a god in a crucible. You didn't take much skills in order to hit your shots. All you had to do was land a few choice shots, and you were gonna melt every opponent that you came up against. The reason I say that it was is because they did nerf it into the dirt, not just once, but I think a few times. And after that, the weapon was never the same. It had hard time dealing with uh, even the I won't say the smallest, but it had problems dealing with even the weakest pulse rifles. I mean, you were basically able to outgun it with weapons such as, you know, the palindrome, uh, the Fate Bringer, which was one of those weapons it took me a while to get because it just didn't drop like that. I mean, I say the drop rate wasn't as hard as the Grass-O-Matic in my opinion. A lot of people might disagree, but the Grass-O-Matic was one of those that you prayed, like literally prayed to get because it was just that good. But then, you know, other weapons start coming back into play, such as the one that I'm holding right now, which is an auto rifle. But you know, this is not about that. So basically, you know, I just want to reach out to the Destiny community and hopefully, like, somebody with a big platform will ask for them to bring back the Grass-O-Matic because I think it's just one of those weapons that were truly underrated, and I think a lot of people now they forgot exactly how strong the Grass-O-Matic was until they got nerfed to the dirt. And I'm just hoping that they, you know, they bring back a lot of exotics. Why not bring back legendaries? Because to be honest, there were so many different choice of weapons in D1 that you had your pick of the litter. You had what? You had the Grass-O-Matic. You had what is the other one? You had before the Grass-O-Matic. It wasn't the Fate of All Fools. It wasn't. Uh, oh God, why can't I remember this name? And it was with an H. Uh, the green and black one. It was. Oh my God, why can't I? It wasn't the Hopscotch Pilgrim. I remember the Hopscotch was a good one too, but you know that one really lost traction once a lot of the other pulse rifles start coming out, and it wasn't the Hawk, not the Hawk Moon. It is oof, man, I can't believe like I've been a D1 fan for so long, pretty much since the game first came out. I've been on it, you know. I've went through like a few clans, you know, but that's besides the point. Hopefully, like I said, somebody looks at my video, and even though it's not done to the best of my ability, it's just one of those quick videos I decided to put out. Like I don't like I do other things on YouTube as far as like, you know, I have my own podcast. I have, you know, I have my own channel, my other channel which is doing fairly well, and I have another channel that does reaction. But this was my original channel, which is the gaming channel, and I'm hoping to bring it back up. And if I have to, I will start uploading a lot more content and excuse me, content, and hopefully it's up to par. But hopefully somebody, you know, MTash, you know, True Vanguard, who else, Sir Demetrius, like some of my, you know, hardcore PvP streamers and content creators will put that out there in the ether, that they will bring back something such as the Grass-O-Matic. And there's other weapons that, you know, you could bring into D2, because to be honest, the Destiny 1 had a variety of weapons that you could go through, and just like it had a lot of different playability. I mean, it had a variation in playability. You could, you know, depending on what perks you particularly went for. Some after a while became meta, but you also had other weapons that were just right behind them, so you didn't necessarily feel like you were being brutalized unless you had something as the Vex, such as the Vex Missile class, which is something that I've never had, was never that lucky to get it dropped, and pretty much never really played the Void of Glass too many times. Maybe I say the most 12. Everything else, as far as like, you know, the Willa Crota, uh, you know, the yeah. Oh, the when Oryx came, that's when I was really doing a lot of raids. Now I don't raid. I don't, you know, I have a clan. It's like 2 people in it, and you know, nobody really has time to really get into it. Just to be honest, as far as like challenging, I think D1, their raids were a lot more challenging than, you know, well, I can't really say nothing because there's one particular raid in D2 that's really good, but of course it's hard to find a team, and when you do find a team, if you don't know exactly every mechanic, you know, people really don't want to deal with you, you know what I mean? So it's one of those things. But like I said, I'm not asking for the palindrome, no matter, and this sniper right here was probably the best in the game outside of the exotic, you know. It was another, there's a lot of good weapons that could bring into D1, I mean D2, you know what I mean, just to mix it up a little bit. I mean, you throw old weapons in all the time, why not throw in the Grass of Malok? There's still Hive inspired stories in Destiny, maybe something, you know, Oryx brings back the Grass of Malok, or you know what I mean. There's so many ways to go with it, but like I said, this video wasn't really too much, you know, it's not really scripted. It's just one of those things I decided just to do this video, and hopefully people watch it, you know, and hopefully even if this video doesn't make any real particular views, that somebody may hear it, go back to your favorite content creator and ask them to put it out there. Because I mean, to be honest, there's not too many people that could say anything bad about the Grass of Malok when it was at its strongest, you know, before the nerf. It was a melter, and if you didn't have a Grass of Malok, and when you played PvP, you were getting ate up. You know what I mean? You were getting ate up. It's like any rocket launcher comparing itself to the Gjallarhorn. You know, the Iron Gjallarhorn was, but I mean the Gjallarhorn original, where the Wolfpack rounds hit you and just, yeah, the one that made you rage quit. I never rage quit, but I've seen a lot of other people with a lot of choice words for people like me that did use the Gjallarhorn, or you know, the truth. But anyways, I'm gonna let the rest of the video play out. Hopefully you like what you hear. Hopefully, like I said, you reach out to your favorite content creator and ask them, man. Ask them. If you don't, you should know about the Grass of Malok, but if you don't, ask somebody about it, and I'm guarantee you they're gonna tell you at one time the weapon was an absolute god. Well, it dropped from a god, or a supposed god, or whatever. But that's beside the point. Hopefully you like the content. Let me know in the comments if you can do that for me. Grass of Malok, remember that. And on that note, enjoy the rest of your night. Late.
There are no further traces of Hive energy.
Well, if she comes back, so will we. Look at us. Omnigal's neutralized and Eris didn't have to lift a finger.
You should tell her.
Trust me, she'd prefer to hear it from you. Come on back, Guardian. Good work.